You probably clicked on this video because you feel like you're in a space where you feel stuck, you feel like nothing is changing, things aren't going the way you want them to be, and ultimately you're just ready for something different to level up your life and actually live out the things that you can't stop thinking about, the things that are actually in your heart and on your mind 24/7. But before I share the specific things that you need to stop doing in order to get to this place where things are finally moving, things are getting better, and you're headed into the right direction, let me just say this. You probably feel like the things that you're doing now are so normalized and so normal, but the things you have now, the life you're living now, the way that you feel now is a result of your past actions and your past thoughts and your past feelings. If you want a different outcome, you want a different result, you want to live a different life, you have to do different things. You can't keep doing the same things day in and day out, thinking the same thoughts day in and day out, and feeling the same way day in and day out and expecting to get a different result. So first of all, let's just address the elephant in the room, and one of, I think, a lot of people's biggest problems, and one of the things that I struggled with and still kind of struggle with now, which is when you tell yourself that you're gonna do something. Let's just say you tell yourself in the morning you're gonna go for a little walk, and it's now 2 p.m. and you're still telling yourself, I'm gonna go on that walk soon, I'm gonna do this soon. Now it's 5 p.m. and you're still telling yourself, you know what, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get it out the way. And then it's 10 p.m. and you're in bed and you're planning to do it the next day. Procrastination is one of our biggest enemies. It's time to stop just saying and thinking about the things that we're gonna do to get us to our goals and actually take action on them and write down the actions that you're gonna do and the actions that you're gonna take to get you there. This year, I know it's only been a month, but I've just been all about action. That way, at the end of the year, you can look back and say to yourself, I put in the work and I did the things that I needed to do to get me to where I wanted to be. Just thinking about and just talking about your goals is not enough. You have to be putting in action that's gonna get you there. And some actions that you can take is, first of all, writing out exactly what you want out of life. And don't limit yourself, because I look at it as a way of limiting yourself is saying that you don't think that God can make it happen for you. And I would never underestimate God's ability to make things happen in my life. But you also can't underestimate the actions that you're going to take to get you there. You have to meet him halfway and start off by writing out your goals and writing out the actions that you're going to take to get there. Stop procrastinating on them. Set a timer on your phone for when you're going to get these things done. Like literally set a timer on your phone for a 30-minute walk at this time. Set your clothes out for what you're going to wear on this 30-minute walk. And when the timer goes off, don't hit snooze. Snooze is what you've been hitting for way too long. Do not hit snooze. Put your shoes on and go for that 30-minute walk. Whatever it is, I chose a walk because I'm just an active freak, but it can be anything. Whether you want to write a book, whether you want to look for a new job. If you want to look for a new job and you're tired of your job, put on your timer how long you're going to look for a job, how long you're going to fill out applications, what you're going to put on your resume. Sit down, make yourself sit down and get it done. If you can't even discipline yourself and make yourself sit down and do the things that you said you're going to do, baby, we got other things to be worried about right now. Stop procrastinating and actually start taking the actions towards what you want out of life. Leading me to segment 2 of this video, and you need to take a step back and start watching the things that you're thinking throughout the day. It's been 31 days since I've been doing this, and I can honestly tell you that you may feel like you don't speak negatively about yourself, or maybe you're self-aware and you realize that day in and day out you are thinking horrible, self-degrading thoughts. Your thoughts impact the way you feel, and how you feel impact the action that you take every day. So even if you feel like you don't need to take action right now, at least change your thought process. Change the thoughts that you're thinking. Stop engaging in negative self-talk. Stop engaging in negative conversations with other people. If it does not serve you well, stop doing it. Pay attention to your thoughts. And I think this is where getting a journal comes into play, because at the end of every day, you can journal your thought process and pay attention to the thoughts that you've been thinking. And when you get a negative thought, say to yourself, like, I do not claim that at all. Like, we're human, so it's gonna happen. But you need to physically and actively say, like, I don't claim that thought. I don't claim that feeling. Like, that's not who I am. And then change that thought into a more positive one. If you've been having negative self-talk and telling yourself that, like, I'm not good enough or I don't deserve these things, you need to say, I don't claim that thought, and change it into, I'm more than enough, and I'm more than enough because I was put on this earth for a bigger purpose. That's it. Like, and that's it. Start changing around this self-talk and start talking to yourself in more positive ways. Think about it as if you were talking to a child. And as someone who deals deals with kids day in and day out, and I already hear the kind of negative self-talk that they tell themselves. Is so scary that it starts from ages of like 9 and 10. It's like, why would you even say that about yourself? Would you say the things that you say to yourself to a child? If not, change it. Speak to yourself lovingly. Tell yourself how amazing you are, how confident you are, how beautiful you are. Even if you don't believe it yet, say it to yourself every single day for the next 30 days. Write it down. No more negative self-talk. Leading me to our next segment, which is segment 3. What's behind you is behind you, and it's already gone, and it's already done. Take it as a lesson and move forward. I think when we dwell on the past, it literally stops us from achieving so much. Everything happens for a reason, and I truly do believe that, which is why I think it's a lot easier for me now to not dwell on what happened. Like, I used to be a person who, I still am trying to get out of it. I'm not completely there yet, but when it comes to like holding grudges and holding people accountable for their actions and things that they've done to me, I would always live in the past, and it does nothing but put in more negative thoughts in your head. Like, it happened, it's over with, it's done. Whether it's someone that hurt you, whether it's someone that abused you, whether it's something that happened, it's literally done already. Use it as motivation to keep going and to push you further and actually start putting in the work to heal from it. Like, there's nothing we can do about something that already happened, and the only thing we have now is this moment. Like, when you think about it and you take a step back and you look at the bigger picture, we only have this moment. That's all we have. Don't use this moment to dwell on the past. We're focusing on learning from our experiences so that we can move forward and actually begin to heal and release all that negative trauma. And I've been doing like a little deep dive into like personal trauma and reading a lot of books on it, and I didn't think that I had like trauma. I feel like I've lived a pretty decent, good childhood, but the questions that you ask yourself, I'm gonna list some of the journal prompts that you can do to let go of the past. But it's amazing how and what you can heal from when you actually do it intentionally. One thing that we have to remember is that everyone's journey is completely different, and in this lifetime you're gonna come across so many people that you feel like are doing so much better than you, that you feel like look so much better than you, have better energy than you, and this is where your joy gets taken away. Comparing yourself to other people is such a negative thing, I feel like, and when you start to compare yourself to the next person, you are literally telling yourself, telling God, telling the universe, whatever you believe in, that there's not enough. And that's the biggest lie ever. There is more than enough. Like, we live in such an abundant world, and by comparing yourself to the next person, you're telling yourself there's not enough. And there is. Focus on you. And when you switch from a lack mindset to an abundance mindset, you literally realize, and instead of comparing yourself to the next person, you start to feel more inspired, and you take that as inspiration. If you're a person who finds it hard to compliment people, you find it hard to congratulate people on their success, and instead you feel threatened by it, so you have to go and compare what they're doing versus what you're doing, you need to physically and actively start giving out more compliments daily. If you have a negative thought or a negative type of judgment creep into your head about something, switch it off. And I mean switch it completely off. And the way to switch this off is, let's say you're at work and you have a negative thought, or you're judging the way that somebody is doing something. You switch that and you turn it into something positive that you can tell them. If you're comparing your friend's success to your success, you change that and you switch it into something positive. And the one thing that I recently heard is that if the people around you are winning, everyone's doing something with their life, people are leveling up, maybe your best friend just got a new car or a new apartment or a new house, instead of taking that as something that takes away from what you have, or you're comparing yourself, feeling entitled like it should be yours, you should take it as a sign from God that you are next. These are your friends. These are the people around you. These are the people that you spend time with and that love you. Why aren't you more happy for them? Why aren't you excited for them? You have to literally treat people the way that you want to be treated. And comparing yourself to somebody else, viewing them as competition, is only going to stand in the way of your blessings. You're literally only blocking what God has in store. Focus on your own progress and your own celebrations and your own success, even if it's small. Celebrate yourself to the fullest. When you start celebrating yourself, you don't feel so threatened by what everyone else has going on. You're focused on you. They are not your competition. Your competition is your procrastination. Your competition is your negative self-talk. Your competition is your lack of self-discipline. This is what you need to be in competition with. This is what you need to be trying to compare. You need to compare who you were yesterday versus who you want to show up as today. That's the only kind of comparison that we need to be doing this year. Comparing yourself to the people around you and what's going going on and who's on social media, and it's dumb. It's so dumb to me, and it's not going to get you anywhere. Stop comparing yourself to other people. You have your own blessings with your name on it. You have your own journey in life that was literally meant for you. You're not them. You're you for a reason. Which leads me to segment 5. And this is very underrated, I feel like. And at the beginning of the new year, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then they fall off with it. And you're going to pay for it in the long run. And I mean that with everything in me. And I have learned this from just personal experience. I say all this to say that you need to be investing in your physical and your mental health. And they go hand in hand. Neglecting your physical health, eating like trash, not working out, you're going to pay for it down the line. I seen a quote yesterday that said that eating foods that you know are not nourishing your body and purposely, intentionally not working out every day is like a credit card. You're going to pay for it later. I don't care if it's just a 30-minute walk. I don't care if it's just going for a bicycle, bicycling or whatever it is, but choose something that you can do active. This is going to get you to your bigger goal. I stand by this, and I stand by physical health. And mentally, you also have to find something mentally that's going to challenge you and that's going to upgrade your mental well-being. For me, that is focusing on my physical health. It's also reading self-development books. It's also investing in the things that I care about. So when you find something that for you is really therapeutic and that really benefits your physical and your mental health, everything changes. Like literally everything will start to change. When you feel better about what you're doing day in and day out, things start to get better. Take it from someone who took months off the gym, ate like crap, drank my little heart and soul out. I'm paying for it now because I'm starting over. I'm starting from the beginning, and that's just the reality of it. Would I do that again? Probably so. I'm literally 22 years old. Things happen. It's life. But when you start a journey and you commit to something, it's literally a marathon. It's not a race. Having a healthy body and having a healthy mind are two key components to success. And if you listen to some of the world's most successful people, they always mention this. And this is what I mean by we know exactly what we need to do to get there, but we just choose not to do it. Which also leads me to segment number 6. Stop fearing the fact that you're going to fail. Like, actually reprogram your mind to view all your failures as lessons from God and test. When you start to look at them like this and you don't look at it as, okay, it's over, I tried, and you give up every time you come to a roadblock and you fail, things start to change. Failure is what is holding you back from reaching your success and reaching your full potential. One of my favorite podcasters always say, feel the fear and do it anyway. Like, whether you feel fearful or not. Do you know how much fear I feel every time I go into the gym and I have to pull out my freaking camera to record? It's such a scary thing, but I feel it anyway and I get it done. And I truly, honestly do think that that's adding to my confidence in a way. So when you fear something and you get it done anyway, you are developing yourself, okay? Embrace failure as this is literally a part of the game of life that we're playing. It's a part of it. And how boring would our story be if we had no failure stories? Like, it would literally be so boring. No one wants to listen to someone who never had to go through anything. And that's just a fact. Like, think about your favorite stories that you remember. They went through something, they've overcome something. Take it as a lesson and move forward. Continue putting in the work. It's literally just about learning from your lessons and growing from it and focusing on the person that you become in the process. If you're someone who is surrounded by nothing but negativity, it is time for you to change that. Your environment plays such a huge role in your well-being and who you end up becoming and what you end up achieving. And some of us don't have the luxury of being surrounded by successful people who can keep us motivated and keep us on the right path. But you can listen to podcasts, you can follow your favorite people who are doing what you want to do in life, and this is your way of surrounding yourself with people that are doing better than you, but that are also motivating you, and take it as them showing you that if they can do it, why not you? Stop surrounding yourself with people that mean you no good, that are not trying to help you, that are not motivating you, that are not feeling good about this journey that you're going on, this self-development journey. Like, if you clicked on this video, you're obviously on a journey and you're obviously trying to do something better and different with your life, and being surrounded by nothing but negativity. And this this also goes both ways. Like if you're on social media and you're scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and all you're seeing is negative content, like you have a goal to be married or be in a successful, healthy relationship, but you're listening to all these people on podcasts, men, women, whatever, talk about all this negative stuff surrounded by relationships, all that's doing is confirming the self-concept of yourself, which is that you don't deserve to be in a healthy relationship. Why wouldn't you follow people that are happily married, happy in their relationships, that have successful relationships? You literally have to cultivate your life and your experience of this around your dreams and the things that you're trying to achieve. I am on my health and fitness page more than I'm even on my personal page anymore, and it's because my health and fitness page, I follow people that are doing things that I want to be doing, things that motivate me, things that keep me in a good headspace, that keep me positive. Every time I open Instagram and I'm on my fitness and my health page, all I see is positivity. All I see is people putting in the work, people putting out good messages, people putting out scriptures. This is all that I see. And I think that we don't realize and we don't notice when we're on social media, and it could be one of your close friends, it could be somebody you went to high school with that just posts negative stuff all the time or negative self-talk, and that is literally influencing your mood every single day. We spend a lot of time on social media. If you're gonna spend that much time on social media, spending it in a way that is beneficial for you in the long run. Do not spend it engaging in negative content. That's another form of surrounding yourself by negative people. It's not just your friends, it's not just your family or your coworkers or the people at work. And when you do come into contact with these kind of people, because it will happen, you will be tested when you're on this journey. There are going to be people that still try to have these negative conversations with you, that still try to tell you that that's all BS, that's all not going to work, is blah blah blah, all these things are just never going to happen. You say, I respect your opinion, but they're literally deflecting how they feel on you, and do not claim it. Like sometimes all you gotta do is smile and nod your head in a lot of conversations, like especially when it's just constantly negative stuff. It's of a family member, a mom, whatever it is, shut it down immediately. And if you have those kind of people around you, you need to get rid of them. I don't care how much fun y'all have on the weekends, how much you love to party, and you have this fear of being alone and you'd rather be surrounded by people that are negative. We're not doing that this year, not at all. We have no room for that. Surround yourself with positive people who influence you in a belief, and who influence you, uplift you, and inspire you. Your circle, your group of friends, the people you spend the most time with can literally make or break your self-development journey. And that's just the truth of it. Time is your greatest asset. Your time is precious. I cannot drill this into you enough. Value your time. And when I say value your time, value every minute. This leads me to my point of stop mindlessly scrolling on social media. We all have our days, and I'm not telling you to get off social media completely. Never watch Netflix again. That is not what I'm saying at all. I have my days also, but I also have my weekday where I don't need to watch TV. Like on the weekday, I don't need to watch TV. I don't need to mindlessly scroll really. And if you are gonna mindlessly scroll, set a timer for yourself. You can do this through your settings on your phones, where you set a timer for the amount of time you can spend on social media, especially if you're not engaging in a positive way. You definitely need to do this. And even if you are, if you have certain goals, certain dreams, and certain aspirations, and you know what actions you can take to do them, until everything is ticked off of your to-do list for the day, don't worry about social media. Don't worry about your phone unless that has something to do with it. For me, one of my goals is obviously content creation. So of course I'm gonna be on YouTube scrolling for ideas or looking for inspiration on there. That's not mindlessly consuming content. I'm literally writing things down that I see or putting it in my notes. That's different. But when you're on there just scrolling for hours, getting a good laugh in, whatever you're doing, you could be doing something else. You could be cooking your food at home. You could be spending time with your kids, with your family, focusing on the things that really matter. You need to have a reality check for yourself and ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now getting me closer to or further away from my goals? That's the question, and answer honestly. Segment number 9, which I had to kind of get myself, like tussle with myself a little bit on this one also, because I realized, like, even if you're in school, investing in your personal development journey is going to be one of the best things that you do. One thing that I found is that the work we do on ourselves is going to be our greatest little masterpiece. Like becoming the best version of you, I'm obsessed with it, and that's why I've started this kind of content, is because I've been learning so much, and I just feel like people also need to hear it and join me on this journey. But I think a lot of people make the mistake of only focusing on the end goal and not focusing on who they become in the process and how it's going to change them. When you start doing the work, and I mean the deep internal work on becoming a better person and becoming a more positive, better version of you, you start to realize and see certain opportunities that you weren't able to see before. And these opportunities can be what what is going to get you to that end goal. But focus on doing the work, focus on your personal development. And I say all this to say that the work doesn't just stop with watching YouTube videos. Reading the books for yourself is also very, very, very key. I have been reading like crazy. I can believe it, but I also can't believe it at the same time. But I think when you find something that you're deeply, deeply interested in, it's so much easier, and you can learn so many different lessons from just picking up a book and reading it. Even if it's just a short book, try to read at least 5 to 10 minutes a day, or at least a chapter a day. Invest in your personal development and growing as a person. If you have a skill that you want to learn, you could literally read about it, watch videos on it, invest your time into that instead of just scrolling on Instagram. Learn about something new, learn a new skill, learn a new language, try something different, pick up a new hobby. Like, invest in just becoming a better, well-rounded version of yourself. It's gonna be the you, but the you 2.0, the 2.0 version. And by focusing on personal development, you start to realize that it's literally a lifelong journey, and this is gonna leave you to continuously improve day in and day out. Like, there's not gonna be no just like an era of you becoming a better person. This is a lifelong thing. The same thing with the gym. I feel like this is a great comparison. People think that you're gonna one day get to your dream body and then I have to put in the work anymore. Newsflash, that's not how it works. You still have to eat healthy. You still have to go to the gym. You still have to get your workout done, regardless if you get there or not. That's why it's a personal development, self-growth journey. We're not just in it just for 2024 or just for the month of February or just for the month of May or right before summer. No, we're putting in the work daily. And when you get more comfortable with that idea, you start to enjoy it a lot more, and it becomes more fun. It becomes something you want to do and not something that you have to do, and something that like you're forcing yourself to do. And one thing that I don't want to get, and that I kind of had a fear of and was afraid of, was like getting to a very, very low point or having something drastic happen in my life and have that be the thing that forces me to change. I don't want that. I did not want that at all. I wanted it to come from a place of I love myself enough to put in the work and put the action toward becoming the best version of myself that I can be. I don't want it to come from a place of life is just so hard, or this one thing happened to me that got me so low and so just like in a terrible place, so I was forced to do better. I was forced to become better. I don't want to get there. I don't want to ever be in that place. Of course, life happens and it happens to the best of us, but I want to do the work now so that when those challenging times come, that I'm kind of like have a little bit preparedness for. And there are certain things that we can't prepare for, but I think that by becoming your best self, your most patient self, your most loving and your most kind self, you're going to figure out certain tips and things to help you along this journey of life, and it's all going to be for the greater good. My most final and most important segment, which I'm gonna probably include in every single video because it fits into every single topic that I talk about, and I got away from it for a long time, and I think that a lot of people don't practice it. I think that people don't practice it enough. This is showing gratitude. Even if you're in a place where things aren't working out, things aren't going the way that you feel like they should be going, you have to find some kind of gratitude and be in this place right now. And this is probably the biggest lesson that I've learned all month, and it's only month of 1 of this new year, is that we have these goals and we think that when we get there we're gonna be content, we're gonna be fine. That's not how it works. You get to that goal and then you're gonna enjoy it for a little bit, then you're gonna be on to the next goal. You're gonna be putting in the work to get bigger and bigger, or do more and have more and do these things. And I say all this to say that learn to be appreciative, happy, and grateful and at peace now. If you can learn to do it now when things aren't necessarily going your way, imagine how good it's gonna feel when things are going your way and you have no attachment to what's happening. Like, you have no attachment to your end goals, to whatever it is that you're trying to reach, whatever your goals look like for you, whatever your vision looks like for you. When you have no attachment to it and you can have peace and happiness and appreciation just for being here on earth and for life itself, I think you've reached like another level. And that's something I'm still trying to teach myself, because as someone who has accomplished a lot for my age, I've realized that there's always going to be a next goal. There's always going to be a next level to reach. But finding appreciation for the now and the life that you're living now, regardless of what's going on, that's where like the magic happens. That's where like that sweet spot is. Like, regardless of what's showing right now, regardless of the external world and what's going around right now, inside and in reality, like, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. At the end of the day, like, I love my life. I love that I'm here, and I love that God chose me to be one of the ones that woke up today. Like, that's just something that should light you up inside and make you excited about life. I hope that all makes sense, because I know it was kind of all over the place, and that more focused on on when you're in this process of reaching your goals, how sometimes we're putting in the work, but we're not being appreciative. We're not saying thank you. We're not being grateful. You have to show gratitude for where you are now, because there's a past version of yourself that is very thankful for the work that you put on now, even just to click on this video. Like, the past version of you is proud of you, and the future version of you is even more proud of you. That's how, like, change your perception. Just change your perception, and even start small. Start with the daily small things of, like, when you wake up, say out loud or write down in your journal 5 things that you're grateful for. When you go to sleep, do the same things. Like, find 5 things that you are grateful for this day. If it's hard for you, or you're in a place right now where that's hard, if the sun was shining, you can just be grateful for that. If you have running water, that's something to be appreciative of. If you still have your parents, if you still have certain family members in your life, that's something to be grateful for. If you have your health, I think we take that for granted. That is something to be grateful for. Show as much gratitude as you possibly can. It literally uplifts your entire mood. I found myself, like, maybe I think a negative thought, or I say something negative, or I get really pissed off in the moment, and I'm just like, you know what, God, I'm just grateful that I'm here right now. I'm just grateful that I'm even in this place, or whatever the situation is. Find a way to show some gratitude, especially to yourself. Like, be proud of yourself and be grateful to you for actually trying to figure out how you're gonna get these things done, and how you're gonna get to that end goal that's really a never-ending goal. Start small and stay consistent, and I really hope that you use these 10 things to upgrade your life this year, and to allow you to get you to the place where you want to be. And these 10 tips that I've gave you, and these 10 things that you need to stop doing, actually motivate you to turn it into something positive and apply the positive tips that I gave you. And remember that the process of change is literally a process. It's not just this one event that happens. It's a journey. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I love you guys so much. If you have any other tips that you would like to put in the comments, or any other type of things that you think that people need to stop doing in order to change their life, please put it in the comments. Like always, I will have a summary of the video up here, and I will see you guys in my next one.